We are so excited to have you here, Natalia, and we're so excited to have you talking about how we can incorporate music with our little ones every day. And I'm going to turn it over to you. Welcome,
Perf-
welcome.
Thank you so much. Well, I want to get the slides ready to go so that you can all see what we're going to talk about today. I'm very excited to be here, so thank you so much to the Santa Barbara Library for hosting this. Um, and for inviting me here. Oh, I'm so tiny now. Look on the screen. Hopefully, you can all see. My name is Natalia Palis, and we're going to be talking about the positive impact of music in early childhood development. So, thank you all for being here. I am definitely going to invite you to ask questions and use the chat and have a conversation about music. So, let me tell you a little bit about me really quick. I'm originally from Barranquilla, Colombia, and I traveled to Boston to study music therapy at Berklee College of Music. After that, I went all the way to LA and started working as a music therapist in hospitals and, in schools and with older people, like just every single population you can think of I was working with, and I loved it, but I wanted to know more about what was happening psychologically with my clients. I wanted to be able to know a little bit more about what was going on here. So I decided to study psychology, and I got my master's in clinical psychology and started working as a therapist as well. All along while I'm doing this, I was running an early childhood music program because I was always working in preschools and I couldn't let it go. I just love working with children. So even though I was like, but I have to get my master's and I have to get my hours and I get to license, I was like, I still gonna go to a preschool class and sing because that is just my main happiness. And um, all along this time, I am writing music, I'm making up songs for the kids, for my own kids. So I've released 4 bilingual albums and I enjoy performing for families all over the place. Right now I'm in the other coast. I'm in Atlanta and I continue performing, and I love that I'm able to be here virtually with you. Um, Hopefully soon in person and do some in-person shows, but I get to do workshops as well, so this is super cool. um, so the plan for today, like I was telling you, I am passionate about music and how it's processed in our brain, and I love working with children and families. And music has been, for me, the most amazing tool in bridging education and socio-emotional learning in a fun way. And this is what I want to share with you. How does music get processed in our brain? And learning how our response to music can have an effect in a physical level, in an emotional level, social level, and cognitive level. So, at some parts, maybe we'll get a little technical, but it's okay. We'll do some music and de-stress. So, so first off, I want to start by debunking myths. Anybody out here who came in thinking like, I'm not a musician, I don't know how to make music, like I don't know how to read music. What are these things up here? I just wanted to let you know that you do not need to be a musician. You do not need to study music to be musical or to appreciate music. So, if anybody's here and you're all listening to this, maybe you will feel the beat. Maybe you'll start to sway. And I don't think anybody is going like, wow, that's like a C sharp minor. I think that she's playing in 4/4. I don't think anybody's going like, that is this scale or that scale. You're just feeling it, you're just grooving. So, that said, no, you did not need to learn how to play the guitar or know what was going on here, because when we hear music, we just start dancing to it, tapping our feet. It's just something that just comes natural. So, no, you don't need to be a musician. So, if anybody was thinking about that, you're welcome here. Um, Another one is that you're probably thinking, well, I can't sing, I can't keep a beat. And my policy in all my classes with all my kiddos and with all the parents that I've ever worked with and everywhere as a music therapist is that if you can talk, sure, you can recite a poem, therefore that's half a song, you're almost there. You can sing. And if you can walk, you can dance. And if you have a heartbeat, you can keep a beat. Something tells me we've got humans on the on our audience here today. So and there's a heart beating, so you can be here as well. I also want to debunk this. Listening to Mozart makes you smarter, and if anybody thought, oh my, we're gonna learn how the music makes my kid smarter, and I'm just gonna learn the tool, and we're gonna raise his IQ. I'm so sorry. There's been studies, that were done, like the Mozart effect, that music makes you smarter. And, these were studies done in like teeny tiny little sample, and then they weren't replicated. Therefore, you can't just say that that is necessarily true. However, when we are actively participating in music, when we are making music, when we're just listening to it, there are so many areas, and you will learn today, that are activated in our brain, that are just making new connections. And who doesn't want our brain to be constantly making new connections? If we don't use it, we lose it. We all know this, right? So I am going to encourage you throughout to just use music with your little ones and your older ones, and just for yourself. Another myth I want to debunk over here is that music is a privilege. Who has time for that? And I want to say, well, yes, music is not like our air and our water and our food, but somehow we need it, because we need entertainment, because we need a form of expression, because music has been like a cultural, social thing that we do together. And I don't know about you, but can you imagine a movie with no music at all? Or can you really imagine your life with no music at all? Somehow we do need it. So, myths debunked over here. I want to go to some facts. We are all musical beings. It's in our nature and it's in our biology. And the reason is because there's elements that we see in music that we find throughout life. And it makes music relatable. So I'm going to start with dynamics. So all these terms right here, they're all terms. Let me make myself a little bit bigger so I can just be part of the slide and really point. Ooh, look at that. So anyways, all these things that you see right here, they're musical terms. But then you're thinking, well, I thought I didn't need to know about music. Let me explain. Dynamics are, how loud and energetic music is, or how quiet and calm, like, if it's excitable. And we are like that. You can, as human beings, some people are like super peppy, they're dynamic, and then some are just, really chill. That is dynamic. So we can relate to that aspect of music. Music has form. It starts and ends. It also has things that repeat: the verse, the chorus, the verse, the chorus. And life is just like that. The sun comes up, we wake up. The sun goes down, we go to sleep. We are born, we die. Life has form, music has form. It has a beginning and an end. So we can also relate to that. Music has timbre and tonality, and we see this in our voice. If a person sings all nasally or talks all nasally, or if she speaks like this or has a deep voice, we see the timbre, we can sense the timbre. The same thing goes for musical instruments. There's also the tonality. Tonality is basically, is it in tune, not in tune? Ooh, do I like this sound? Do I not like this sound? Does that sound good? And some people are like, no, I don't know about that. But does that sound good? Or like, if I, does that sound good? Like, what's going on there, right? We can sense, like, whoa, that sounds, I don't know if I like that sound. And then there's melody. And I want to tell you, and the reason why there's this picture, you're probably thinking, why is that picture there? But our first experience of melody is our mother's voice when we were in her belly. We could hear and sense the cadence of her voice, the rhythm in her voice, just the timbre, all of it. We sensed it when we were little, when we were not even conscious of what was going on. That voice was soothing, which leads me to the most primitive of elements, which is rhythm, right? We heard our mom's heartbeat in our belly. And then again, we can think about, wait, I'm not rhythmic. So I want to do this exercise, and I want to, hopefully people in the chat can respond. I am going to clap a song. And you're going to say, like, what? Clap a song? So no pressure, Holly and Rebecca, if nobody's responding, you guys have to guess the song. No pressure at all. Lisa, you too. So I'm going to clap a song. I'm not going to sing it. And I want to see if you can tell me what song it is. Okay? Are you listening? Cool. Not that. Who? Anybody else had any guess? Holly?
There it is. Yeah, well, Leticia just said it.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bells. That's what it was. And I see a little bit of that, I tried to pick like one that was just very clear. So anyways, so look at that. I was not singing it, and you did not hear the melody either, and there you go. You were able to guess. So rhythm is something that, despite not having melody and not having harmony and not having all the other elements, you can even still pick up a song. And again, we were listening to rhythm in our moms' bellies. And we continue to carry rhythm in our heartbeat, in the way we walk, in the way we breathe, in the way we speak. It all has rhythm. And because rhythm is perhaps the most primitive of our experiences, I want to talk about that aspect of our brain, that part of our brain that handles the most primitive of our functions. So here we go. We have the brainstem, right over there, and then the cerebellum right here. So our brainstem connects our cerebrum, like the whole thing, our cerebellum, that's like down here, to the spinal cord, and performs automatic functions, okay? You did not know we were having like a science class today. Our brainstem takes care of our breathing, our body temperature, our digestion, the fact that we swallow, our heart rate. We don't have to think about any of these things, thank goodness. Can you imagine? Like, I need to digest my food really quick because I have a meeting. Like, there's no such thing. It's just happening. We don't have to think about all these functions. And then the cerebellum right here, this one, it coordinates muscle movements and maintains our posture and our balance. Again, something we don't have to think about. You're not thinking right now, I have to sit straight. I have to not fall off this chair. Of course, unless you're in a chair like mine, I could possibly fall from this one, but you're not thinking about all these things as you're going about your life. So you don't need to worry about controlling them, but somehow music can make our heartbeat or slower, like get faster or slow our breathing. So even though these are involuntary and we have no control, music somehow can control these functions. And I wanted to show you something. This is an ocean drum, and I want you to listen. So it's just a sound like the ocean, which you guys have close by. I'm a little jealous. And it's so soothing.
Makes me sleepy.
It makes you sleepy? It's calming, isn't it? That sounds just like, oh, you start kind of swaying with it in a way, However, if you were to hear something, I don't know if you'll be able to hear this. Whoa, okay, maybe that, or I don't know, something a little louder. It'll wake you up. Picture listening to the sound of your alarm on your phone, whatever it is. The second you hear it, or a notification, right? What? Like immediately your heart jumps. So that's just a brief little example as how music can change our heart rate and therefore change our breathing. So let's talk about how do we use this with kids? Like, what is this? What good is this science, with what we're doing? So infants and babies, their main thing, because their little brains are just starting to develop. Well, they've been developing in the belly, but they're out here now. They're just continue to grow. They need, they can't self-regulate. They need us to help them self-regulate. Self-regulation comes from outside, basically, and they're not yet aware of their bodies. They're just discovering, right? We all know when the baby starts looking at the hand and how cute that is. There's also learning who is safe and who's not, and they gravitate to mom's voice because they've been hearing it, and they're just learning by mirroring, right? By knowing. So I'm going to tell you something that you are already doing. What happens when you hear a baby crying or when you see a mom holding a baby? We all start going, shh, 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 or we start rocking, right? Don't we start rocking? And another mom's holding the baby and somehow you find yourself like you're rocking. You're like, why am I doing this? I'm not even holding the baby. It's not even my baby I'm rocking, but then everybody will, shh, 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 start trying to calm the baby or trying to find over them. And then it slows down. And then it slows down, and then we want to put him to bed. So this is how we self-regulate. We're using rhythm already. So I want to empower you with the things that you're already doing in terms of like that body awareness. We're doing, those finger hands. My librarian friends, if you worked with little ones, I'm sure in your story time, maybe you've done open them, shut them. Open them, shut them, right? Give a little clap, clap, clap. One, because all the kids know it. It is such a song that just centers them all over again. It is familiar. I've heard it a lot, and it's about my hands. And I get to look at them and I get to do these movements. So even with babies, infants, toddlers, these songs totally work. They love the sound of mom's voice. So sing to them. And you're probably thinking, well, Natalia, why aren't you telling me what's the song that works? And what's the song that's going to help my baby go to sleep? And I cannot give you a song because whatever worked for my kids is not going to work for your kids. It has to be what is familiar and comforting to you. If I give you a cumbia, you're going to be like, well, that's not soothing. That's like too much. And, maybe my babies, liked a cumbia and just like swaying to that, right? And that calmed them down. I can give you a funny example. My grandmother, she everybody thought she was like, like the magical grandma that would put any baby to sleep. Can I tell you what was her chanting, rocking, soothing sound? I don't know. Try that with your baby. See what happens. You might scare them. But somehow that's what my grandma would do. And it worked. All the babies just went to bed in her arms. So just remember that how fast and how slow, how quiet, how loud, it's what's going to change the heartbeat, right? And the familiarity of the song is what's going to be soothing and comfortable. So use predictable music. Use the songs that you already know. Let's see. With toddlers, you can go a little bit more advanced. They still need self-regulation. This bunch of little ones, if I started singing, to a song that was a little too crazy, they'd go really crazy and I'd have to like bring it back down. You know what I would do to bring them back down? If I was doing a movement song and I'd be saying, clap your hands, everybody, clap your hands, and everybody's clapping, everybody's having some fun, clap your hands. And then I'd have them jump, 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 everybody. I'm gonna get them up because you know what? They were falling asleep earlier and I just want their, attention. So now we're gonna jump up and down and then we turn around. But then, because they're toddlers, they get self-regulate, like dysregulated really quickly. And I see that now they're starting to run around in the classroom. Oh my gosh. And this big room, definitely they'd start running around like crazy. So I would be freeze, stop the song, go to sleep, everybody, go to sleep. And guess what? All of them on the floor. I'll show you a picture of all of them on the floor eventually. Go to sleep and sleep, sleep, sleep. And all of a sudden, they're back. And then that way, because now they're calm, I could say, we're gonna all stand up and we're all gonna sit down and we're all gonna listen to the story that I'm gonna tell, right? And all of a sudden, I have their attention again. So using music to regulate that heartbeat. They also love the cause and effect, and they love following directions, which is basically those movement songs, what they are. Let's see, hold on. Freeze dance, you can always do freeze dance. You're like, I don't play guitar. There's us, you have music on your phone, and freeze dance is super fun. All you have to do is pause the song. So, and then there's freeze dance songs out there. And I do have to say, as I am an independent, singer-songwriter, and I write music for kids, and I tailor the music thinking about teachers and thinking about parents and thinking about kids. Just like me, there's tons of children's artists that are making music for your kids. If you want information as to where to find them, please send me an email. I'd be happy to direct you to playlists of music for themes, for, whatever it is that you need. Language learning, anything. With older kiddos as well. So what are we doing? We're rocking, we're swaying, we're using lullabies, mirror songs. You're probably wondering what a mirror song is. Songs where you're saying, your face is round and round, your face is round and round. You've got two eyes and one nose, and whatever it is, or you show the mirror and then you're talking about the baby. Who's that baby that I see? I see my baby smiling at me. There's a mirror. So, and that way the baby's looking at themselves and they love to see themselves. Or you're singing and dancing and swaying while looking at the mirror. That way they get it. They're like, whoa, what's my mom doing over there? Oh, she's here. Oh, that's me, because that creates that body awareness. Songs also that kind of help these little ones kind of realize, people don't disappear just if you walk out of the room, because they don't have that object permanence idea in their heads because they're little. Are peekaboo songs, which is exactly what I'm doing in this. And as you can see, the one in the back is pulling the scarf out of the other one because he found her. She didn't really disappear. He gets it. You are behind or underneath that scarf. So anything, peekaboo, I see you hiding in your place. Peekaboo, peekaboo. Anything that has to do with scarves and playing peekaboo. And then it's just super fun and engaging, and they love it. So let's go and talk about, we're talking about all this self-regulating, and just always remember the rule is the fast versus slow. Fast songs are going to be upbeat and help us go, go, go. And a slow song is going to chill us down. The same goes for loud, because loud could be too loud and overwhelming. So it can also dysregulate us, versus quiet could be underwhelming. It could calm us down, bore us, or anything like that. And I want to stay on this primitive side of the brain, but I've moved up a little bit to the limbic system. And you're thinking, what is that all about? Or maybe you do know already what the limbic system is, but this is where our emotions are. In the limbic system, it's the center of our emotions. That's where learning and memory, the amygdala, the hypothalamus are there. Have you heard about the amygdala? Yes, that's where our fight, flight, freeze response is. All these reactions to things that happen, where our emotions take place. And friends in the chat, can we control our emotions? Like, if you see a snake or a mountain lion shows up while you're in the hike, can you really control whether you freak out or not? No, we cannot. right? You know, we can try to manage our reactions, but the emotions just show up, right? But then music somehow can affect and change our emotions and our mood. So I have an example, or I want to ask in the chat actually, as some of my friends are typing here, or I say friends, I work with kids too much, Rebecca and Holly. Everybody's like, hi friends, my friends, because I'm always working with little ones. So I'm sorry, grown-ups that were, you are my friends too. But I do want to see in the chat if anybody has had goosebumps with a song that they heard, or anybody has ever heard a song and just started to cry. Or anybody has been transported somewhere else with a song. So I'm gonna grab my guitar here and let's talk about this emotions, right? And I want you to tell me if what's the mood, what's the feeling that comes to mind with these chords. Is this exciting?
I feel like it's wistful.
Right? Or, you know, kind of sad. And I'm not singing, I'm not saying, I love that word, Angelica.
I second that. It was perfect.
That's a perfect word. And I did not use any words. I didn't, there were no lyrics to my song. But you just heard the chords and you knew, or you felt, right? And that's what it meant to you, you know, because I can go like this. And what comes to mind? Joyous, right? Happy, and just kind of like playful. Again, I don't know, but I just think that we can just feel it, right? So let's talk about the other ways that music just affects us physically. I don't know if everybody here knew that music is known to reduce the levels of cortisol, sorry. That's our stress hormone. And it also increases the levels of dopamine in our brain, right? That's a chemical associated with pleasure. So this is how music can affect our emotions. And then, you know, knowing that music can affect our emotions, we can only assume that it affects our behaviors, right? Something too loud can be annoying. Something, you know, a song can remind us of something bad, transport us there, and then we're irritated and we're just like, turn to us, I can't hear that song. Or like Holly said with the ocean drum, that puts me to sleep. Yes, a song can make you tired enough that it puts you to sleep. So it definitely targets our emotions. So what do we do with our kids, right? What do we do? What do we do with them with songs? How do we help them navigate their little emotional selves? My first thing is gonna be sing it. There's no harm in singing. Nothing could possibly happen. Just sing it. Express yourself. I don't know if you have your empowerment song. I don't know. I would love to hear. What was your empowerment song as a teenager, or right now? Or what was your sad song? Do you have one? Or your angry song? This is a song I sing when I'm just like, I just want to rock out or something like that, right? So sometimes we have those signature songs. I wanna just totally maybe overshare of me as a teenager. Picture this, teenager locking herself in the room, what's new? And singing a song on repeat. The song, maybe I'll date myself by singing this. It doesn't matter, it's okay. Let me sing it. These foolish games are tearing me apart. You're breaking my heart. Teenager Natalia on repeat, singing over and over and over. That was like my sad anthem. I don't think my heart was really broken. I was just feeling really sad. Like every teen just feels too much, right? Feels too much excited. Then, after, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds of that song, I'd get out of my room and be like, okay, I'm gonna call my friends. What's up? What are we gonna do? And so what was happening there? Singing was my way of connecting that I'm not the only one with these feelings, these big feelings, these things that are tearing me apart. Then hearing lyrics that you're like, that's me. She's got me, And the same goes for kiddos. I don't know. You work with little ones or 3, 4, 5-year-olds. Are they listening to anything on repeat? I know. I know the answer to that. Unfortunately for us parents, you're like, I cannot hear. We don't talk about Bruno, no, no. Or we all remember, let it go, let it go. And it's not that they're wanting to let go of their problems. And it's not that, they have some secret that they don't want to talk about with Bruno, no, no, no. No, it's not that, but it's just something is clicking and something is exciting. So just sing it out, let it out, right? So, because emotions lead to behaviors. Yes, my first go-to is let this person express themselves. Let the kid grab the drum and just play as loud as he wants. Play on the piano. Let them do it. It's safer, right? It's a safe way to express. But when you just don't know what else to do, always go back to basics. What do we want to do? When emotions are on the loose, when the behavior is like too much, we want to self-regulate. What have I been talking about self-regulation? It's that speed, going from fast to slow. So that is the way that we self-regulate. Always that. Going back to the comfortable, going back to what we know. What else can we do? Change the tune. That song is making you sad. Guess what? You can change it. You can change to a more upbeat song. If that song is annoying, change it. And I'm always going to say, go back to your preferred music, right? Because, if I will, like, I would, a cumbia for me is everything. And any song that is like, La luna de Barranquilla tiene una cosa que maravilla. La luna de Barranquilla tiene una cosa que maravilla. And then like the trumpets come in and and then it's like this, super rhythmic thing. And that's going to make me so happy. But, I don't know, for somebody else, that just doesn't do it. The native flute or the merengue or it's too loud, it's too brassy, I don't know, whatever it is, always go back to whatever you like. Now, I can share with you that I can hear songs that I grew up with that are like exciting, like merengues and salsas, and those will make me cry because it will make me nostalgic when I miss home, when I miss Colombia. So it can work both ways. Like I can hear a song that normally I jam and dance to, but then I can listen to it in another moment and just be like bawling while dancing salsa. How weird is that, right? But that's how music is. So let's see. So what do we do with our little babies? And what do we do with our toddlers? And what do we do with our infants? Creating routines, creating musical routines, singing those lullabies. I'm going to go back and forth. And yes, I'm not giving you the lullaby that's going to help because it's the one that works for you. Like I said, changing the tune, singing and dancing, always using your preferred music. And then using songs for transitions. This particularly works for behaviors, right? So I don't know how many people work in a classroom or work, even if you're doing the story time at the library, you start with a hello song, right? You say hello because you have to start because it kind of sets the routine of what we're going to do. And then you end with Uh-oh, uh-oh, it's time to say goodbye. I'll see you again next time, right? So we end with a goodbye song, because if you just end it, they're gonna throw a tantrum. Like, if you just said, oh, and that's the end, goodbye, like, what? So using music for transitions, I don't know how many of you have had in your room, something, and then all of a sudden you go, okay, clean up, everybody everywhere, clean up, everybody do your share. One, funner to clean up with a song. And it's not like, okay, time to clean up, we're done, put everything away. Like, it's just so, like, demanding. It just makes it so much joyous. Like, oh, we're all done, time to put everything away. Oh, we're all done, we're putting everything away. One by one we go along, putting everything away. And this was just made up. You just make it up as you go, right? It doesn't have to be with a guitar. It can just be sung. And if you do it all the time, if you do the same song all the time, then the moment you finish your activity and you start singing the song, it's less nagging as a parent, and it's funner. And maybe the kid will sing along with you and won't mind the chore as much. So let's say you don't want to sing. Well, then maybe there's a cleaning song. Not just like, there are official cleaning up songs. I know that there's many artists that have created songs specifically for we're all done, clean up, bath time, like all of it, right? But maybe you pick a song and that's your cleanup song, and it could be whatever song you like and you enjoy, and it makes it fun. Let's see. Okay, with the older ones, again, like I was saying, let them express themselves, let them sing along with them, sing about what the song means to them, talk to them about, hey, what is that song about? You can talk about lyrics, especially with the older ones, because their brain is more developed, because they can talk about, the lyrics and the meanings of the words. I have a song about a little hermit crab, and goes, oh, little hermit crab, hiding in your shell, why do you shy away? You've got so many stories to tell. I know that change seems scary when moving from home to home, but starting over and over only means you're going to grow. So maybe, when you hear a song, talk about, what was that about? It was about change. Have you experienced change? Have you thought that change was scary? Was having to move from one house to the other scary? Was having to move from one school to the other scary? Was, starting something new scary? And you can talk, about these feelings that some songs, they are already connecting with. So again, like I was talking about, emotions and behaviors and how they lead, it's a perfect way, music can be a perfect way to manage behaviors. I'm going to say it one more time. Slow it down if it gets out of control. So let's see. I do want to talk about, as we're talking about these feelings and these emotions, when kids are actively participating in music, when they learn a song, even a baby, if you give them a shaker and they go, I did that. You can see it in their faces. They don't have to say it. And then they do it again. And then they giggle because they think they're pretty awesome because they made that sound. And the same thing goes when they play the piano. Or then, as they grow older and they can tell you, mommy, or, hey, teacher, look what I can do. And then they play something on the piano, or they play on the guitar. Or if they get through a song and sing the whole thing, it just, the sense of accomplishment. The only thing it does is that it lifts their self-esteem up, right? So that is something that's beautiful about music, where, you know, maybe you did terrible in sports, but you can rock out and you can sing a song. Maybe, you know, your math, you didn't do so good in math, but boy, can you play the piano, or boy, can you play the drums. And that is your thing, you know? So it just gives you something, right? Um, so, and talking about self-esteem and just having that self-awareness of the things that you can accomplish makes me think about our outer part of our brain. Um, so I'm gonna start with the parietal lobe right over here. Um, you know, okay, well, first the whole cerebrum, which is, you know, like this whole area right here, the thing that just engulfs everything else, being the largest part of it. And it has our left hemisphere and our right hemisphere, and all of this performs higher functions. So we're down, like we're over the primitive part of our brain, and we're going to our higher functions, and that is hearing, speech, making decisions, learning concepts, you know, touch, vision. All these things are handled by that. We have the left hemisphere that controls speech, comprehension, math, writing. And then we have the right that controls creativity, artistic, musical, and spatial abilities. So how are these areas activated with music? Again, starting with that parietal lobe, it's in charge of memory, sensations, and spatial awareness, where we are, how we feel. I remember how that shaker feels, and I can play a guitar because I remember how that feels. And if I close my eyes, I know where to find the chords, right? So that is all spatial awareness. And you're like, well, I don't play an instrument. Well, when you're tapping your foot to the beat, you are using that parietal lobe that's being activated. When you feel that pulse of the song, that's what's being activated. And then there's the occipital right here, this area on the back. Go figure, the part on the back is the one that is in charge of vision, right? And the way that's activated is when we learn music, when we observe somebody dancing, when we're somebody moving, when we read music, okay? And you're thinking, well, why is this important? You know, like the whole spatial awareness or the vision thing, like, you know, what is that? So it is important because we know that kids learn through play. They are experiential and they're visual learners. They want to see and feel and do. They want all of it, right? That's, they want to feel the drum beat. It wasn't enough that they were playing. They had to sit on it, you know? they, and there's where I have them all sleeping. As you can see, we're all sleeping. I'm part of it because I'm a kid at heart and I just enjoy it so much. But how do we make them experience music, dance with them, go to concerts? You know, your library hosts concerts for families and children. If you're thinking, what? I'm not going to buy tickets to see inserts famous artists, super duper famous artists. It's an arena. That's no place for kids. Well, the library hosts, you know, safe music for kids and families to enjoy, you know. So, and there's other events that I'm sure they collab to make sure that you have the opportunity to take your kids to see live music. Play an instrument, just have the instruments out there for them to play. And if you can actually enlist in actual music classes, by all means, learn to read music. It's great. And then I'll move over to the other parts of the cerebrum. And it's the temporal lobe. And you might think, well, that's the one that processes sound. So why didn't you start with that one? And the reason is because before the temporal lobe can tell the frontal cortex what's going on with music, the brainstem and cerebellum, you know, those primitive ones, already decided to react to it. So this is why I left the temporal lobe for later, because the temporal lobe is the one that understands and comprehends language, right? And the hippocampus, which is in the temporal lobe, which is that green one over there, it's the area of our brain that stores you know, memories, like factual memories, right? It's our library in our brain. It decides what to keep, decides what to, you know, take away. So and because the temporal lobe, that's where our memories are held, I want to ask all of you, um I don't know, are you all familiar with Schoolhouse Rock? Yes. Were there any facts that you learned with Schoolhouse Rock? Put your favorite song out there, or a song that was about facts. I don't know. The one that came to mind in my house was conjunction, junction. What's your function? Right? And then you knew your nouns. You know they're nouns. And that's a noun, right? I didn't even grow up with Schoolhouse Rock, and somehow my kid heard it so much I know some of the songs. But if I were to tell you what letter comes after R or before R, don't tell me you don't go Q R S T U V. Okay, yeah, that one, right? Because we learned our ABCs with a song. And music is just such a fun way to memorize. So, activities that we can do with music to memorize things. Any rhythmic song, you can learn the states. I don't know. These are the days of the week. These are the days of the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. These are the days of the week. Like, I don't know. There's so many songs about the days of the week. That wasn't one of them. I just thought that would be one, and I couldn't finish the whole week. But anyways, there's so many songs that you can use to learn facts beyond your ABCs, or the countries, or the states, or the continents. And music is motivating. It's non-invasive. You're just listening. You're not, you don't have to actively be doing it to participate. And it's motivating. It's easier to do anything with music than without. It's easier to work out with music and go for a run with music than without, right? So, and this is why it's such a great tool for memorizing, for learning, for building vocabulary, for finding out rhymes, pronunciation. We can divide things up in A, B, H, E, L, L, O. We can spell it together. Here we go. We say H, E, L, L, O. So music can make it easier to spell. It can make it easier because it's just funner. We're having fun while we're doing it. And then little kiddos that are learning a song and we're saying twinkle, twinkle, little, they finish it. Star. How I wonder what you are. Yeah, that rhymes. Star, are. And so music is just funner, right? Not just as an avenue to self-express, but, or like that, identifying with lyrics or anything like that, but just building vocabulary and aiding in memorization. Our frontal lobe, like I was talking about, it's the one that's in charge of speech and forming words and making decisions and problem solving and all that. But language is processed in the left hemisphere. And then music, the musical abilities, is processed in the right hemisphere. As a music therapist, I've had the amazing privilege of seeing with older patients that perhaps lost their ability to speak, because of aphasia or apraxia or any of these, communication disorders, but can sing. They can still sing, and you're thinking, wait, they can't say certain words, but they can sing. And it's because language is in the left and the music is on the right. And then somehow, because the brain is constantly connecting and rewiring, it's almost as if one side decides to help the other out and says, wait a minute, I have those words on this side, and just bridging those connections. So this is why it's so important, to teach with music and make new connections with music. So what do we do with our kids? Again, make up songs, right? Make up songs that allow them to use language. I'm going to show you a song that I love doing with kids because it makes them think about it makes them understand different concepts. So I'll do like, who could it be? Oh, who could it be? Who could it be today? Who's gonna come and visit me? Oh, who could it be today? And then I give them 3 clues. I've got 3 clues. Number 1, let's think about I don't know. Usually it's like a Disney character, right? And I say, number 1, he lives in the water. Number 2, he is orange and black. Number 3, he got lost. So imagine the exercise here. I'm giving clues, I'm giving facts, but I'm not telling you what it is. Then they tell me, oh, it's Nemo. It's Nemo. I found Nemo. It's Nemo. So it's a musical game, right? About, these concepts. Then I have them, if they're old enough, you give 3 clues. Oh my gosh, this is so hard for them. Give 3 clues, but don't tell me what it is. Don't say what it is. But when they get the game, it's this word, building vocabulary, omitting what it is, but giving clues. Oh, I thought I had this over here. Let me reach it and hold it. Hopefully nothing falls. I have a bunch of instruments in here. An imagination song. This is my tambourine, my tambourine, my tambourine. This is my tambourine. What else can it be? What else could it be? It's my bracelet. This is my bracelet, my bracelet, my bracelet. This is my bracelet. What else can it be? Obviously, a crown. This is my crown. So games with instruments, finding rhymes, always, concept songs, category songs, when we're singing Old MacDonald Had a Farm, we're singing about the animals, right? And then if somebody says there was a rhino, categories, yeah, in the farm, well, that's a wild farm. I don't know if there's a rhino in there. You can be, fun about it and do it, but they're learning, oh, these animals belong in the farm. Then you sing about the zoo, and these animals belong in the zoo. And when we sing head, shoulders, knees and toes, it's body parts. And so it's all these words. Even with these babies, I'm singing about up and down, up and down. So they're learning concepts. And as you can see, I'm acting it out with them because they need that, spatial movement, all of that. So completing activities through music, that's always that we build language. And when with our older kiddos, songwriting. Again, same thing, musical games. It's just the level of the musical games that we're doing with them, finding rhymes and just encouraging them to make music. And with encouraging them to make music, I most definitely want to encourage you to make music. I'm hoping that anything that I've shared with you today encourages you to continue making music and letting music be a part of your daily life. So I'm going to open it up for any questions that you might have about anything that I've shared with you, or any songs that you want ideas that you can do. I'd be happy to share. And again, definitely say thank you to the library for having me here today.
We're so excited that you joined us. This was wonderful.
Thank you, Rebecca. This has been fun. And as you can see, I love it. One, I love that. And I love working with kids. And I love seeing what's happening when you're making music with them. I love seeing their faces. I love seeing the aha moments that they get, when they sang, when they did it, when they know the song. So
I see one in the Q&A section that I don't like how I sound when I sing. How can I improve my singing?
Um, by practice, by practicing, there's always vocal coaches, you know, if you want to really improve on your singing, you know, and it's, if you've ever had a singing coach, it's kind of funny because they have you think about your voice and where it's placed and all that, and it's quite entertaining. You're like, what are you talking about? What do you mean pull my voice from out here? Like, I'm not joking when that's how it is, but I would encourage you to do vocal exercises, um, you know, and just finding the different sounds that you can make with your voice. Because, you know, even as I sing, you know, I there's people that'll be like, sing more airy. So you sing like this, more airy, right? And you're like, that's not the way I sing. But, you know, what about a song where you wanna, you know, you have the capacity to change what you do with your voice. So when you're not feeling, you know, content with a particular sound, sometimes we sing really nasally, and I don't know why my sound is always coming from out of here. Um, Play around with your voice. It'll feel goofy. It'll feel weird, you know, but if you're doing it by yourself, do it in the bathroom, you know, when you're showering, go ahead, just play with your voice. Just like babies do, right? When they're like, ah, and they're doing all these voices, and then practice singing with all that. But yes, you can always go to a vocal coach so that they can help you. Um, I see another question. Hopefully that helps. How do you um oh wait, I do want to say to the person who said that I don't like my singing voice, um and saying in a way, you know, sometimes we want to sing like somebody else, but that's not who we are either. So just also realizing that, you know, your voice and the way that you can use your voice is beautiful because it was your voice, and you can expand the way you use it, and you can, you know, do something else. But, you know, I will never sing, I don't know, like Celine Dion, or I can never sing like, I don't know, any Diana Krall or something like that. That is just not who I am, and my voice is not going to sound like that. And if I'm going to keep comparing myself to them, then I'm going to be sad. So I need to also know that this is who I am, and I can just work with what I have and just, you know, have that piece. How do you incorporate music in bilingual or bicultural homes? I love that you asked that, and I did not bring this up today, you know, but all my songs that I write are bilingual. They're half English, half Spanish, because I'm from Colombia and I wanted my kids to learn Spanish. So what do? I would, you know, I've played all my Colombian music to my kids. And the reason why I've written so many songs and they're all bilingual is because I wanted my kids to grow up bilingual. So, and to learn Spanish. So I use music as a tool to teach them the language. Uh, so I would just encourage you to just, there's a lot of artists, whatever language that you want to target, there's a lot of artists that create music in that language. Again, Angelica, you can reach out to me. I have a list. If it's Spanish, I have a list of Latin American artists that create music for children that you can incorporate. And the cool thing is that it's developmentally appropriate for them, right? It's not necessarily a reggaeton with like really, really wrong lyrics. It's people that are creating music for the kids. And that's usually how I would incorporate music for a bilingual, bicultural home. And if you want music from other countries, I can always, we have such a big network of children musicians that I can reach out and say, hey, I want music in this language. Who does this? I want music in this language, and I can most definitely find out for you.
And you'll have a chance to meet Natalia in person soon. In March, we're planning on having her out here for a series of outdoor concerts. So check our calendar.
Oh, I have another one. Over there, growing up, I listened to Cree, and would you encourage that? Uh, you know what? Cree has such beautiful songs. I would encourage any music that you grew up with, and I would encourage any song that you found soothing and you enjoyed, because if you enjoyed it, then the kids are gonna enjoy it with you. Um, if there's lyrics that you don't like, you can always change them. If there's anything that you're like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe I was singing that when I was a kid, well, then maybe don't share that one in particular. You know, there's plenty where you're like, oh, I was singing about that. But Cri Cri, oh, he has beautiful songs. There's la de Toma el llavero, abuelita, y enséñame tu ropero. Like that is just so cute. Like that, it's a kid that wants grandma to show everything that's in her closet because he wants to hear the stories, like about the grandpa when he was, you know, whatever he did, and my mom when she was little. Like, it's just such beautiful written songs. So yes, I would encourage most definitely songs that you grew up with. Anyways. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rebecca and Holly. And I can't wait. I can't wait to go and be there in person and sing and perform for all your families out there.
Thank you so much for tonight. You totally took me back, by the way, to my high school days. So thank you for that.
Were you listening to Jewel too in your high school days?
Yeah, a little louder than my mom would have liked, you know.
Right there. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, we all had to feel our way through it, right?
Yes. Big feelings.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. That was really wonderful. Thank you for joining us. And we're excited. We're going to see you in March. Everyone bring your little ones to stay and play. We're going to have really special stay and plays coming up.
Perfect.
If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I can answer them, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Good night.